If I start telling people about hell, I might just scare them off. Where are you going to scare them off to? Hell number 2? Or are you just going to sit there and let them burn?
This is Chris from Don't Let Them Burn. Welcome to the program. Don't forget to check out don'tletthemburn.com. This is Paranormal Shift, a program that obviously goes into all sorts of dark issues. So this one, though, is going to be viewer discretion advised. We're going to have some graphic images. Also, you want to follow me on YouTube, obviously, Rumble. On Telegram, it's Don't Let Them Burn Official. I'm also on X. And remember, don't like, don't subscribe, and don't share. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic there. We need all the help that you can give us. Share the video, like the video, and support us financially if you can. And so we also have here memberships are open. So we have the first one is the red flame, and then we have the orange flame, and then we have the white flame and the blue flame, which burns brighter. And you get a lot of good perks in there, including the book club, and we get to watch private videos, and on it goes. So I'm just letting you be aware that the membership portion is open. And today we have William Ramsey, and we've done plenty of shows together. As you can see, there's 15 in here. We started out talking about Aleister Crowley, and we just went on from there. Abramovic and John of God and Spirit Behind the Music, all sorts of issues. Balenciaga. We talked about the occult, zombies, demons, AI, and what they have to do with each other. We talked about the globalists, World Economic Forum, a slew of issues. And by the way, some videos were taken down by YouTube, so you can go on Rumble to see those videos. And William Ramsey has a very prolific podcast, a bunch of information on the occult and globalists and stuff like that. So you want to check that out. And I think his podcast is in his field is up there in the top 5. If he could correct me if I'm wrong or right. But here we go. William, how you doing?
Great, Chris. Good to be with you. Thanks for the invite. Glad to be back with you.
All right. So today, guys, as you can see, we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Epstein again. And it's the Deviant art. And again, this is viewer discretion, because we're going to have some images here, not too graphic, but of course we can't show pornographic images and stuff like that, but it's going to be graphic a little bit. Okay, so where you want to start?
I think we should start with Epstein. I mean, I think that as people are doing more and more research, myself included, you're seeing more elements of his life. And he was involved in so many different things. He really was a kind of plate spinner. But at this aspect, I think, is a real insight into his character and also into his network. They call it a class. I guess that's fair. But I think that he had kind of a smaller network of people, and they were all into high art, but also art that to me is unsavory. That's why I titled this Deviant Art. And I think it plays out in the research, like how much stuff that's out there and what he was collecting. And one of the FBI files, and some of the stuff was left out. 2.3 million files were left out. That's what the acting attorney general Blanche said.
Yeah.
But the stuff that came through is still really bad. And it gives insight into how these guys operate. So I think it's an important topic for our society, our culture, our civilization, and know what these guys are really up to. And there's a lot of tricks these guys can do financially with art. And it's really in my first slide, but it really shows like how they can trade and keep assets and engage in tax-free things that the average person wouldn't think of or maybe not get involved in. But it really is a kind of like tax haven. And that's how Jeff got started at Bear Stearns. When he was in his 30s, he was tasked with like offshoring and tax stuff. That's why his financials are so Byzantine. Like if you look at him, he has like 50 trusts with different vehicles, and money's constantly coming and going, like just to like get a handle on what's going on, and fake names and strange things going on. Art is just one of the aspects of it. But I think that his art is an insight into his character and it's much. I think that he is a deviant. Like I really think he's a
Oh, yeah.
deviant. That calling him a Hebrewophile or somebody who liked teen girls is like, because there's trafficking of underage kids, babies, and babies disappearing, and Baalism. That's very dark. So, like you said, I think that people should be forewarned. And this is definitely NC-17 stuff. I tried to, in my newest set of slides, I tried to block out all the inappropriate stuff, but some stuff might pass through. But it's definitely, I mean, this is stuff he put on his walls, in his entryways, and it all had a lot of this art is occulted, like it has esoteric meanings. It has stuff that the public wouldn't know, but the insiders will know, and I'll try to explain that.
Well, as a side note, it goes along with this, but before I came to Nevada, I was living in Miami, and I went to a show called Art Basel, right? Or Basel, I don't know how other people pronounce it, but and I had my daughter at that time was 15, and a fiance at the time, and some of the art was okay, a lot of it was dark, a lot of it, and you would walk by a door and see giant dongs just get out of here. You know what I mean? It was really weird. So a lot of these artists are obviously into some dark esoteric stuff. And I didn't bother to find out more about them at that time, and I just left. We just left after a while. It was just way too much.
Yeah. And it's interesting how these guys have, like Jeff is a philanthropist who supports artists. So he's one of these people who supports that. And that's interesting that you mentioned Balenciaga when we got started, because fashion is like art. These people who pay this exorbitant amount of money for specialized clothing, and they do that for art. Like, it's probably a matter of presentation for Jeff too. He can show off his wealth through impress people with his style and taste, so to speak. And I think that they're just like the art has changed within one generation in the United States. So yeah, I think it's important to look into. And one of the things is like they had close connections to art galleries. So you mentioned this Art Basel. There's emails coming in of art shows. Come to my studio. Are you interested in this Caravaggio? I don't want to, put it up at Sotheby's because then I don't have to give him a cut. Like you see, if you read through his really hard to read through, like drops that the Justice Department drops, you'll see these things where he's connected. And this is what I'll show in these slides. I mean, I have 2 hours, but you could literally do a 10-hour show just on Jeff and his art. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, terabytes of information.
Terabytes, absolutely. It's interesting because people are seeing this huge elephant. They're seeing one aspect. Some people are concentrating on his eugenics, his trafficking. I'm like looking at the art right now. Some people are looking at his criminal stuff. He has a huge criminal history. Like, he was investigated for drug running for 5 years. Like, it's in the files.
Yeah, full spectrum. And some people don't realize that he was connected to Victoria's Secret. The owner was the owner's name, if you remember?
Les Wexner.
Yeah, he was connected to him heavily. I saw a documentary on it, so I don't remember. It was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of pictures of him with Wexner, and Wexner had a book. He literally kept a greed demon in a box, like a witch, like a warlock. And he is a greedy MFer, like he had billions of dollars. And he was one of the mega group that was surrounding Epstein. And it's, helped Epstein kind of get a leg up into where he was when he died. I think he's worth $500 million, which has all been paid out. Like there's been, I think, $700 million in paid out in civil suits. And a lot of it's not public. Like you see a glimpse of it through these files that were dropped in January 30th.
Yeah.
But these are all information that is covered by NDAs that the public may never seen. So what the DOJ dropped under the EFTA legislation, which was not crafted well, it was surprisingly that it passed. It was crafted at all, actually. It's kind of a miracle, but there's a lot more to the story that's behind the curtains.
For sure. So we have a video here. You want to start the video or start?
This was a big discovery. I did it with Steven of the Biblical Hitman. We're kind of riffing like just on some of these shows. we're doing a theme, but we're also kind of bouncing forward, back and forward, and he's showing what he knows. And the topic was this interview of Epstein by Bannon. It was taken before Jeff was arrested in early 2019. But there's a ton of insights in just this 2 hours that were dropped. And one of the things that kind of slipped by when we at our first Passover was he says this very cryptic thing at the end, which we both missed. But then we were researching his art, the same kind of topic we're doing tonight. And the subject of mirrors come up, and it kind of like a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, what did Jeff say at this end when Bannon asked him if he was the devil? And we'll see it here, what his response is. I think it's the biggest breakthrough in the Epstein files since the release, honestly, because it shows Jeff is an occultist.
Yeah. Let me add here. You know where you want to go with that.
Yeah, you can just go to like 156. I think it started.
6. It keeps.
It's not perfect. It's so long. Yeah.
This is always a complicated subject, but I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio in Pakistan and India, instead of asking me whether that money should be given to these children for vaccines, I think you might want to ask their mothers who received the vaccine, who know their child now won't get polio, and ask them if Epstein should have helped these people.
If we
with
walked
their
in,
money.
if we walked in, you're
is
a
that a fair
mathematician.
question?
You're a mathematician. If we walked into that clinic where they're giving that money out to these people that are in the most dire straits of poverty and sickness, and told them that the money was coming from class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Was tier 1's the highest and worst?
No,
The lowest?
I'm the lowest.
You're the lowest. Okay, tier 1, you're the lowest. But a criminal.
Yes.
That the money came from them. What percentage of people do you estimate? I understand you don't like probabilities. Do you estimate would say, I don't care, I want the money for my children?
I would say everyone said, I want the money for my children.
Did they know where the money came from?
I think if you told them,
if
I told them the devil,
100%.
the devil
himself.
The devil himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious.
You want to stop right there?
Yeah. So he blinks, he thinks about it. That's kind of a sign of nervousness too, if you have a physiological response.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I have a good mirror. And Bannon asks him again. Bannon doesn't understand what he's saying. But the mirror is even going back to Disney, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest? It's a scrying object.
Yeah.
So he knows how to communicate with spirits. And then you go back through his stuff, and we'll see some tonight, a lot of mirrors and hand mirrors. I actually have a picture of Abramovich's hand mirror that she uses for scrying like a witch. It's literally like something out of Disneyland. Yeah. So Epstein knows the stuff.
Yeah. And for those that have no knowledge of scrying, and when you look at the Palantir in Lord of the Rings, it's like a crystal ball, and I think it's Saruman, is able to see somewhere else. It's a object of reflection, whether it's a mirror or a water. It doesn't matter. If it's a reflective surface, it's supposed to be something that the occult uses to contact the spiritual realm. Wreck-It Ralph 2, I believe. The glitch, I can't remember her name now. The little cute little character there. She couldn't find herself, so she went to meet with the Disney princesses, and then they had her go look in the puddle of water to scry to find herself in the water, and she saw the opposite of her reflection. So anyway, that's just a little.
You can look, and it's interesting because when I was talking to Stephen, he brought up this concept in Negredo, this alchemy, which Jeff knows about.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot of the statues that he have the same kind of color, this kind of alchemical color. And that's exactly the color of John Dee, who's one of the most famous sorcerers of all time, of his scrying mirror. You can bring up John Dee's scrying mirror. And that's what he used to contact spirit. That's where Enochian magic comes from. It's his contact with all these entities. So Epstein knows this stuff, and you'll see this. It gets validated. We'll see it if we get through all these 200 slides.
Yeah.
But you'll see little elements of the occult pop up in strange places. Some things that I think people missed, like they don't understand the importance of it. But I think that's a really good introduction, and it's probably for me, like I said earlier, it's one of the most important data points in the whole Epstein saga. I'm not exaggerating.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, with the whole occult thing, it goes into every different direction. And what you're about to reveal, I mean, I watched the show with you and the other guy last night, at least half of it, and there was some freaky stuff in there. So, but I want people to really pay attention to detail, because some things look so obscure, like, okay, what's this? But then when you explain it, it makes a lot of sense.
I missed it at the first time. Like, I didn't know what he was saying. I was like, what's he saying? This is a non sequitur. It doesn't follow. No, but I have a mirror. So I'm like, well, who cares about a mirror? Bandit doesn't know it either. He's like, okay, I'm asking you a serious question. But I think Jeff's response was a serious response. He thought about it. You could see it there.
Yeah. Who laughs at that stuff? You know,
like, who doesn't have an immediate thing? No, just say no. No, I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, he had a clever response. You're right.
I'm going to show you guys in a second. Pull up this window to show you that what we're saying here, for those that are skeptics or whatever, that what we're saying here is true. Let me see here. Give me a second. Stop screen. And here we go. Window. I think it's this window. Yeah. Share and add. Okay, see? I have this book right here called The Art of Black Mirror Scrying. I haven't read it yet, but I already know about scrying, so I'm just showing you that the information is out there and it's taught, okay? The information is at a tip of our finger, okay? I'm not going to read all of this stuff here, but the books are out there. The magic scrying mirrors, black obsidian scrying items, okay? So, yes, the Disney mirror on the wall, that was scrying. And what popped up? A spirit that people thought was cute, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, just showing you guys. I want to keep showing you information that relates to what we're talking about tonight.
That's what that show Black Mirror references to. Scrying.
Yes. They're transcribing the future because they did all the research, put some stories together. Now they're telling you through the Black Mirror what's going to happen in the future in different aspects, but not all of it's, you know, literal, but they're possible outcomes. You want to start sharing the slides, or?
I do. Did I bring them up, or
you did earlier, but they disappeared.
Okay, let me try again. Let me try it. Do I have to share screen? Oh, let me. Okay, that's my fault. There we go.
All right, here we go. Let me get rid of this big block in front of you. And there we go.
Yeah, so there's Jeff right there. He's also has his hand in a weird way, like a triangle, which I think might be Masonic. But I'm trying to go through each of these slides with, did I lose it again? Okay. I tried to go to cover this on each of his properties. So it's Manhattan to Little St. James to Miami to Zorro Ranch, and there's a lot of pieces in each one of those places. But one of the interesting things, like I mentioned earlier, is this kind of use of this high art. It's kind of a tax haven and things like that. This is from Jackson on Twitter, but it's basically they don't have bank accounts. They have art collections, yachts, mansion stocks. None of it gets taxed until they sell it. So they never sell it. They borrow against it. So if they can buy a piece of art and get the appraisal very high, they can get these loans. And then if the art goes down, they just get rid of it as a loss and keep the money from the loan. Live off the loans, pay almost nothing. When they die, their kids inherit all tax-free. So this is like, you'll see this over and over and over again.
Right.
It's really something else. But going to this kind of black thing. This is the entrance to his the mansion, which is gilded in a strange way. There's a lot of like weird Trump overlaps. This is one of them. This kind of this is a hanging rope bridal sculpture. It's mentioned here. It was only sold for $1,500, but bridal veil, desperately thick roped. So it's almost like an angel or something coming down from the sky.
Yeah.
But that's a weird thing to see when you're coming into Jeff's place. It's pretty wild. And then also on the wall, this is literally like from the EFTA. It's from the Epstein drops. Is this zebra that's opened up, and it's by this artist named it's called Hidden Soul by Ferdinando Peretti, and it's called African Flesh Tracks. It's printed as a large inkjet image, and is prominently mounted on the walls of his 21,000 square foot mansion at 9 East 74th Street, among other eccentric pieces. You see it right there.
Yeah.
So it's like one of the other ones that's really interesting that has a full-on occult reference is this eyeballs. It's mentioned in articles in Vanity Fair and other articles, but nobody took a picture of it. But when you walked into that building, there were like eyeballs, but they weren't just normal eyeballs. He went to England and got eyeballs from like dead soldiers and put them on his wall. And people said it created an eerie voyeuristic effect. But one of the interesting thing is like this is mentioned, row upon row of individually framed eyeballs, sometimes called glass eyeballs or prosthetic eyeballs. He reportedly told visitors they were manufactured in England for injured soldiers. So they weren't injured soldiers, they were manufactured there. So it's actually really, but the symbolism is really kind of what it is. Many observers later reported it as intentionally disturbing, invoking a sense of constant surveillance. The house stared back at you, almost like a creepy haunted house.
Yeah.
This fit with the extensive hidden camera system Epstein had installed through the property.
The one you showed earlier, the gold, I'm not sure if this is any connection at all, but sometimes when you see the gold painting on the face and other gold symbolisms, it's arcing back to the pre-flood world, because these occultists want to take us back to that time. So the golden age of man, in other words, back to Atlantis, back to what they consider holy, what they consider pure, because it's the Gnostic version of the story. Lucifer is good, God is bad, and we need to get back to the enlightenment of Lucifer.
Right, that's the gold. Like that. I mean, Trump keeps saying the golden age, but it's like this isn't the Christian age.
No.
But let's see. He says, somebody writes here, separate detail sometimes mentioned involves carved eyeballs on the banister of a hidden black staircase, which victim Virginia Giuffre described as staring at you while gripping the railing, reinforcing the "we're always watching" theme. And then one of the interesting is a guy who was in there and was accused of being a trafficker in the federal docks. His name, well, he had a fake name. It was Gypsy Gita, Gita, but his real name was like Larry Alvarez or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he wrote something that was published in 2020. And he was Native American. He was kind of like a Native American, but also a Latino. He worked with celebrities, including Donald Trump and actress Minnie Driver. He was introduced to Epstein and his alleged Madam Ghislaine Maxwell when Trump passed his phone number on. He described walking into Epstein's $55 million home in Manhattan as like entering a weird, warped world, adding, quote, "It was creepy. Once you went through the big front doors, there was a desk, you checked in, then you turned left to go to the sitting room where visitors waited. There was a huge wall of prosthetic eyeballs. There must have been 150 at least. Jeffrey would say, don't forget you were being watched at all times." So nobody took a picture of it, but they talked about it.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of like an analysis of what this eyeball is. All-seeing eye, but it's the seeing eye of Horus too, and the evil eye and the watchful eye. And it ties into death, spirits, or transgression. which is Left Hand Path and Satanic Aesthetics.
Yeah. The yin and the yang, good magic, black magic, white magic, and all those opposites that people talk about all the time. And of course, there's some sexual connotations to that.
Right. Physical eyes or rarely human remains appear in some historical or folk magic. And it says here, offerings as ingredients for spells for sight, scrying. So here's the scrying theme again.
Mm-hmm.
Or binding, as in grimoires or hoodoo variants. So it even ties into voodoo. Call it hoodoo here.
Yeah. So many different variations of the term voodoo, but it's all the same, really, just different ways of practicing it.
And it really has kind of seeped into both North American and South American culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like part of it, we did that show on Yao of God, who had some voodoo elements, is my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like folk magic stuff in Brazil, and definitely in like Caribbean
and Jamaica is called Obia.
Jamaica, and obviously New Orleans and all this stuff.
Right. Yeah.
This is Jimmy Savile with his eyeball ring, right?
It went from the stage. Let me put it back. There we go.
And it's Jimmy Savile. Savile's in these documents too, by the way. He supposedly went to some New Orleans place where Weinstein was there in like very early 2000s, so 25 years ago. I haven't been able to confirm it that he was in the States, but he was still alive. And he's a black magician. I mean, this guy's like up there with Abramovich.
Yeah.
Heavy duty. Necrophiliac. Like, wow. Really
well, that's important that you mentioned Abramovich, too, because she's supposedly a performing artist. But it's all gross,
Right.
I think through the arts, whatever entertainment is the way they channel their message, right?
Right.
So whether look at Lady Gaga, look at how she presents herself in the videos, and then she's directly tied to Abramovich, and then you go into Jay-Z and other rappers that are totally satanic, and they don't hide it anymore, right? Jay-Z had a line. I don't know if it was his line directly, if he owned it, but there was something called Masters of the Craft. I should bring it up, where it was nothing but Masonic symbolism all over the shirts. Let me bring it up really quick.
Didn't he have like some song about the Rain Man too, who was like, that was his ode to Satan or Lucifer or something like that?
Yeah, that was well, he had a song it's called Lucifer, but Eminem had, I think he had one called Rain Man. And the Lucifer song, he didn't write that song. I mean, he hardly writes songs, so you don't know where this stuff is coming from. I know he got some spirits around him. I proved that in my the spirit behind the music presentation at church, but I used to rap. I had to write. Some people don't write. Lil Wayne and Jay-Z and some other people, they say they don't write music. It just comes to them. I don't know. Some people can really freestyle. I get that, but you never know the spirit behind the music. But anyway, I can't find the shirts right now, so because I think the company's out of business. But you keep going, and if I find it, I'll let you know.
That's okay. Every time you switch out, it's kind of losing it. So I'm uploading the PDF right now.
Okay.
There we go.
Right.
So if you can bring that on, I'll just go to the right slide.
There you
go. Let's see. So there's Savile in the files. I could bring up that, but it's in there. You can type in Savile into the EFTA thing. It's incredible that even pops up. But Abramovich pops up too. There was something that happened in 2014 where they were trying to get Abramovich. I don't know. I'm assuming that it took place, but like get her with almost every leading tech figure. And Jeff Epstein knew it. Like incredible stuff. Wow. Before the spirit cooking stuff came out.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting too. This is Savile, but he's in this direct pose. This is called the Horns of Pan or the Hands of Pan.
Oh yeah.
So he's got those eyeballs, and there's Crowley doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a mistake.
No.
And then also Marilyn Manson, if you look at his right hand that's going into his mouth,
Yeah.
he has the eyeball ring. So these are all occult stuff. Jeff knew that, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a mistake.
Certainly.
And so that indicates this whole kind of interrelation or relationship to other people. I'm always watching you. And it's kind of like, it actually ties into Eyes Wide Shut. Like after the guy goes into the ritual, he's constantly watched. He's sent letters, people follow him, he's surveilled. People masks are left on his pillow and stuff, supposedly, or if he's dreaming or not. But that pervasive sense of like being watched is real, you know.
Yeah.
So
I got one question for you from the audience really quick.
Okay.
I think it's simple to answer. Let me see, where is it? Okay. It says, this is from Lizzie490. Question: why were so many notable chomping at the bit to hang out with this degenerate? I think she's speaking of Epstein.
I think because for a variety of reasons, he could get connections, he could help with your career, he could, you know, give you the high life, take you on plane flights, go to places. I think that was his kind of selling thing. He's really a man of the world with wealth, which was true. So I think young women and even people who were celebrities or anything, like I was just reading his communication with this guy who's kind of like a atheist, you know, overlord, Sam Harris. And he's in this email communication with Harris, who's like fully tied to Rogan and all these other Dawkins and all these other characters.
Yeah.
But Jeff is like, well, this is what you got to do, and you can get access and get some, you know, get somebody to watch your stuff. So Jeff is helping him try to elevate his career, in my opinion. So that's just one example, and there's other ones like people like so many women like, oh, I'll help your modeling career, I'll help your acting career, help you get into dental school.
Mm-hmm.
Even Virginia Giuffre, he sent her to a masseuse thing in Thailand. That's how she got away.
Mm-hmm.
But all these other people were brought in with either real or false promises. So it depends on each different person. And then if you were part of the traffickers, not the trafficked, then it's like, I've got women for you. Whatever your tastes are, I think Jeff could set it up.
Yeah.
Boys and girls.
Yeah.
I think it was majority girls, but there's stories of boys too.
Mm-hmm.
And kids and children, you know, like literal, like prepubescent kids and stuff. It's bad.
And a lot of these people trying to get in, they're desperate. They're broke, whatever. They'll do anything.
Just like Jeff said right there, would a mother take the money from the devil for her child?
Right.
And if they're desperate, they will.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Faustian bargain or whatever. Like it's
right.
like,
and by the time we see them, they're all glowed up and makeup and put in front of you in a way, a presentable idea, whether it's in a movie or whatever, you know, magazine, and we don't see where they came from. We just see what's presented.
It seems like Jeff had like a thing for women where he had all this like beauty implements, like literally some kind of like electronic device that takes away moles and freckles, like in his buildings in Little St. James and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then also hairdressers and plastic surgeons and anything, you know? Mm-hmm. So he had like this, not just a network of traffickers, but a network of people, dentists who would like perfect everything for people.
Yeah. I know this
doctors for women and all kinds of stuff. It's really wild.
I know this might sound strange to a lot of people. You know, I grew up in Florida, and there are a ton of different cultish secret societies and religions and whatever down there. It's an enclave of all sorts of things, and it was revealed at a time, I can't remember the name of the cult, but judges, doctors, lawyers, all sorts of people were involved in this cult, and they had high positions. They didn't have to be Freemasons, okay? All they have to do is be in the club, whatever club that is. So it's not so strange.
No, it's not. I mean, Jeff's talking to doctors. He's talking to finance people, Gates. I mean, he had connections to super powerful people with billionaires, like mega billionaires. So
yeah,
he could pull strings. It really, I don't think it was a joke, good and bad.
Yeah.
There were stories about him getting people into Columbia, getting them into schools. Interlochen was this other school.
Mhm.
It's really something. So I think that's the answer, is that, and that was his selling point. That was also then the manipulation. And I mean, how he drew people in was a promise for all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if he had a secret society, but he almost operated like a secret society.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
The guy had an entree. I was reading just the other day, Chris, is that there was a big movie that came out with A-list stars, and it was it was the version of Les Miserables,
Yeah.
and it had the guy who played Wolverine. What was his name? He's from Australia.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. And so, like, they had the premiere in New York. I think it was in 2013. And the regular premiere was like on a Monday, but there was special premiere with the elite guest was on that Sunday. So like the stars would go to this other premiere and meet the paparazzi and the media and stuff.
Yeah.
But there was another one for the actors and all the like very well known people, and Jeff was involved. So here's Jeff with all the actors, the producers, and all the other famous rich people.
Mhm.
And he's right there in the mix of like an exclusive group of like 100 people or 150 people.
Yeah.
So he had access to all these people. And and Harvey Weinstein was definitely part of the Jeffrey Epstein network. A lot of people didn't know that until recently. But Weinstein was the same way. Well, I can help your career.
Yeah.
I can get you this job. You have to like do this for me or meet my friends. And if you didn't, there were stories of women who didn't go along, and they didn't. Their careers were basically hit a kind of ceiling. And there's stories too of Brunel, who's very close to Jeff, who also suspiciously died in jail. And Brunel was the same way. You have to do the casting couch with me, and I have to, send you around to my friends, and I can help your career. And if you don't, you're not going to get anywhere. And they were all doing it.
Yeah.
They're all part of this network. And I think that it was I think Trump was part of it. There were other guys in modeling agencies doing it. And so I think it was endemic in these elite circles of like, I can make your career and this is what you got to do. And then you kind of watch, like I've read enough of the Epstein files. Once they hit a certain age or a certain usefulness, they were discarded. Like they were let go, man.
Thanks for bringing that up, because I want to do a review. I don't even want to watch the movie again. Okay. But I want to do a review on what's called a substance. With G.I. Jane. What's her name? Goodness gracious. Somebody in the chat. Who
played an actress you're asking about?
Actress, yes.
Was it the girl who's married to Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
What's his name?
So the movie pretty much is about this thing where she was she had a big fitness show, and she was older now, and Demi Moore, there we are, Demi Moore, and pretty much she was cycling out, and the studio was looking for new talent. So she took the substance. They don't explain what that is, but you could say it's adrenochrome. You could say it's whatever you want, and a body herself, the personality splits, and a literal body comes out of her body. It's gross. It's a lot of body horror. Okay, I don't want to watch it again. But it was a big allegory. It's more than an allegory, but there's a big allegory about the young replacing the old, because her younger self coming out of a literal body replaced her. And a whole sorts of things went on in that movie. But I didn't know what I was in for, because I don't watch horror anymore, and here we are.
A lot of weird Hollywood stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like I just found another, like, there was a picture of I just showed Marilyn Manson. There's like an individual picture of Marilyn Manson and Rose McGowan in the Epstein files. I find it interesting for a variety of reasons, because Manson has this. If you go back and put the slides up.
Oh, yes.
Manson has this eyeball, but also Rose McGowan was one of the main accusers of Weinstein, who's close to Epstein.
Yeah.
Like they're pictured together. I think that they went to one of Andrew's daughter's weddings in 2019. They're pictured together. Weinstein, Epstein, and Maxwell, who are all in jail now.
Yeah.
Like there's an infamous picture of them all together.
Yeah.
And their crimes are way worse. They're so much worse, Chris, than what they got arrested for.
Side note. So, along with this whole trafficking thing, and P. Diddy, he has a tattoo on his back of the mother and child cult, right? You know, Queen of Heaven, little child, supposedly Jesus, but it's not. Samaramis, you know, all that, right? And it's called a certain thing in voodoo, and he has it on his back, but he's always saying praise God. He's not talking about the God of the Bible. He's talking about this demon from voodoo. And if I'll look it up, but because I had a tab open earlier, but I found it very interesting how much occultism. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I found it interesting that so much occultism go along with the whole Diddy case, and it mirrors Epstein so much.
Yeah, it's wild. If you can pull up that picture, there's this picture of Epstein, Maxwell, and Weinstein all together. This was 2006, so I had the date wrong. But Epstein's dressed in this ridiculous costume. Like, I guess it's a costume party, but he had nothing to do with the military. But that's a real picture. All three are now in jail. So, all part of the Epstein network.
Yeah. And Weinstein comes on these interviews acting like he's so great and so innocent. Oh, get out of here, bro.
No, he's involved. You know that McGowan said that he raped at least 1,000 to 2,000 women?
It's gross.
Like this was a huge cover up. He's like on Cosby levels. So a lot of those women didn't want to come forward. They were intimidated. That was that kid Ronan Farrow, who was Mia Farrow's. I mean, it's all connected. Like if you did like a weird diagram, you know, where you have those lines, it's weird because Mia Farrow was married to Woody, who's really good friends with Epstein. And Woody was accused by her, Mia Farrow, of raping their 7-year-old daughter. And she's on the phone saying, what did you do to this girl? I forgot her name. There's a whole like documentary about it.
Yeah.
Like it's super dark.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the connection. So
The
then
whole culture of the entertainment industry is much darker than people think. We go to Betty White from the Golden Girls. Her history is full of Crowleyism. When they entered her house, they found Crowley books.
Wow.
Hello. There's the Diddy thing, just a sidestep for a minute. Wow. All right. See the mother and child cult there, but this is the voodoo version.
Makes perfect sense.
What it says here, arrest believed he cursed himself with the attention grabbing back tattoo of Haitian voodoo spirit Azil Dantor, if that's how you pronounce it.
Wow, it makes perfect sense.
Right?
It's the same kind of parties as Epstein, right? At his mansion. You know, he had a mansion in Beverly Hills. Like, it's like the most famous road in Beverly Hills. I don't know what you would like. It's maybe Fifth Avenue, which Epstein mansion was right on the corner of 71st and 5th. But Diddy didn't just have a place in Beverly Hills. He had the place at the top of Beverly Hills. I think his neighbor was like one of the De Beers, the diamond type people.
Yeah.
This is from a girl named Becca Day. People check her out. She's a great researcher. She has a really good Substack, but she posted this picture, and it's really a huge tell for me. But it's Puff Daddy with Trump.
Oh, okay.
And then this blonde girl with the turquoise shirt. She was just another person in the orbit who I didn't know her, but this girl Becca Day brought her to my attention. Another person who's come forward. Like a lot of people didn't come forward, but the tell is there's Lenny Kravitz. Mm-hmm. And his daughter, Zoe, was in this super satanic film called Angel Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just directed a film that came out in 2024 that apes the entire Epstein saga, and it's called Blink Twice.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
I skipped it.
It's worth your time, man. We should do a show on that. If you want to do the substance, I know a lot about Blink Twice, and it ties into our presentation today. You would not believe it. I think Zoe Kravitz knew what was going on before even the files broke. So she was like, it's like a revelation of the method.
It's interesting. And
it's a good movie, Chris. I would recommend it. 4 out of 5. Watch it tonight. It's pretty clean. It's actually, I actually think it's like a female driven movie, and I really liked it. There's parallel smiley faces, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I try not to include
Lisa Bonet. That's right. I'm sorry. I misstated. Sorry to interrupt. Zoe Kravitz wasn't in Angel Heart. It was Kravitz's wife at the time, Lisa Bonet. I think that's his mother. I think that's Zoe Kravitz's mom, right?
I believe so.
Okay, sorry.
I try not to include the artist in the whole creation, but sometimes they're very heavily involved. And the movie The Batman, she was in there, Kravitz's daughter, and she didn't play a super big role, but it was big enough. Well, no, I take that back. She did play a big role, now that I'm remembering. But the person that played Batman, he went into total shamanistic method acting. Yeah, and he says it on video. Total shamanistic method acting. And then the new He-Man movie, what's the guy that played the Joker in the Suicide Squad?
Leto. Jared Leto.
Jay Leto. It's not Jay Leto.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, yes. Leto. So anyway, there's an article, I forgot to share it with you. The person acting as Tila in the He-Man movie said that I don't know how literal this is, but what he would do on set is wear blood on his face in the whole method acting thing. I mean, come on, that's totally satanic. What's going on there? I mean, yes, Skeletor is a demon, but you don't have to take it that far, buddy. But anyway.
It's just like the network goes on. I think Leto's involved and mentioned in the Epstein files too. Briefly, not in great.
Yeah, it's just a lot of sick stuff. And I should bring up that article because I know some people are like, what? It's actually a video on YouTube, one of the interviews, and I thought the title was clickbait, but she actually said it.
She said what? What she said?
About dude wearing the blood on his face on the set. Yeah. I'm trying to bring this up here. Let's see here. So yeah, I wanted to send you the Diddy one. I totally forgot to send you both of them. Let's see, He-Man. Oh no, Masters of the Universe. Sorry, Masters of the Universe. This thing is bringing up all sorts of stuff. You can go ahead. I'll find it in a second. Can you hear me? You hear me?
You have to bring the PDF back. I can't.
Oh, sorry about that. At the stage.
So there's Marilyn Manson. This is also the eyeball, the seeing eye from Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
All kinds of odd, curious mind control themes. There also is a scene that nobody got a picture of that's in the mansion, but he paid for a photorealistic mural of him in a prison yard or cell block, and he was positioned behind barbed wire between a guard station and a corrections officer. Some people have seen it. He had it painted after his 2008 Florida plea sentence. Publicist R. Court Hay quoted Epstein as saying, quote, "That's me, and I had this painted because there's always the possibility that could be me again." So he knew he could have gone back to jail. So this is a tell.
Mm-hmm.
A 2014 Page Six source recalled him saying it was, quote, "to remind myself of where I've been. That's part of my life that will never leave me," unquote.
Wow.
context, it was one of the most frequently cited creepy decor items alongside the Clinton blue dress painting, the hanging rope sculpture, which you've already seen, and the human chess set, which I can show you.
Mhm.
Artist unknown. So it was all sold off. Like, this is invaluable stuff. I don't know where his collection went to.
My God.
Anyway, so that's one that they didn't know. There's two things. When Bannon was interviewing Epstein, one time, not the interview we saw earlier, but in the background was a huge bookshelf, a very imposing bookshelf. And on there were two kind of Christian headless guys, like either dead Christians. It seems to be kind of a, you'll find this, is that he kind of liked this anti-Christian sacrilegious, as a Jewish guy who said Goyim and had a huge Talmud behind him. It makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of anti-Christian stuff in his stuff, and a lot of like, when it's juxtaposed with his deviant art. And I'll show that too. It's like pretty strange. But this is the infamous Clinton blue dress picture that's right off the entryway. And you can see the EFTA number right there on the bottom. So like this is in the files.
Yeah.
And it's right at this kind of introductory desk. Like when you would walk in, you would see it. And it's interesting because I have the artist's name. Her name is Ryan Cleed, but she's also done some other interesting pictures. She's done one of George Bush Jr. flying paper airplanes into a Jenga pile, which evokes 9/11, and also Obama in front of in a circle, in a magical circle, in the Oval Office, in front of an Nganga, a cauldron.
Yeah.
And you can just go to her website. It's on her website.
Yeah, some sick stuff.
And you'll see this whole thing. You can do like searches for red shoes. Red shoes are a thing in the occult.
Oh, yeah.
And they mean a lot, and I'll go into them right now. But this is Patrina Ryan Cleed. You can just go. This is a recent screenshot. You can just go see this. I've never seen the Obama piece before, but these are all kind of occult tells. Like she's telling inside stories that Obama's into kind of African magic.
Yeah.
And I think that plays out. He has like African statuaries and things like that. So.
I mean, when you look into what we were talking about earlier, the voodoo, the obia, a lot of it goes back to Africa, but what goes back to Africa also goes back to Babylon. So they get all of these old traditions from Babylon. The original Tower of Babel, that's where witchcraft came back into the world about 150 years or so after the flood.
Yeah, no, that's a whole, it's incredible. I've done a show on kind of like Southern voodoo, South African voodoo. It's really interesting. Yeah. The way that it morphed from Africa into Brazil, and this like the laughing man, the contacts, and all the implements, and the smoke and tobacco and the ritual stuff. But it's there, and I think Obama keyed into that stuff. He's part of that.
Yeah, definitely. I believe so.
But this is a thing about the red shoes. In the occult, red shoes symbolize temptation, hidden knowledge, uninhibited desire, and the blurring of boundaries between the spiritual and the physical. The intense, potent color connects the wearer to earthly passions, blood, and life force. And it's tied to a Faustian covenant. In Western folklore and occult literature, red, especially red footwear, has long been associated with pacts made with the devil or lower spirits. In Goethe's Faust, the titular character binds himself to Mephistopheles, the devil, to gain earthly power and knowledge, after which he's famously tasked with wearing specific symbols and garments. Red shoes are frequently tied to this archetypes.
Right. And that Mephistopheles, I don't know if this is 100%, but Yoda could be tied to Mephistopheles. That's the only semblance known. Is he's short and got these elf-looking ears, and he's green, huh? You know?
Wow.
And when I brought up the presentation about the cartoon Invincible, and Invincible went down to hell, and wasn't that satanic dude short? And then when he got his crown back, he got into this big giant. Remember that? Yeah, and that's Mephistopheles. And in Marvel, Mephisto, he's not short. He's the red version of Satan, Marvel's version of Satan, but his Mephisto is short for Mephistopheles. So
Right, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Right. It's all there. I mean, it's all being brought into your consciousness.
Uh-huh.
Red is the universal color of blood, the most potent conductor of life force and ritual magic. Blood and blood magic are sacrificial traditions. Red shoes can symbolize the spilling or harnessing of blood because they absorb the impact of every step. Red shoes imply the wearer's magical path is stained by or built upon sacrifice and suffering.
Oh, and an important connection to the Bible there. When God wanted the Israelites to be separate from the other nations, he made sure to tell them, do not drink the blood. Why? Because that's what the other nations were doing, because the blood has life. That's the source of life. And they were doing all sorts of crazy stuff back in those days. I mean, people are still doing some of that today, but that's the connection to the Bible right there.
There are talks about blood drinkers in the Epstein files, and some of the stuff that came into the FBI. There's like a blood drinker who said he drank children's blood because it made him stronger or whatever.
Oh, that's yeah.
And here's the picture of the zebra. I think I already showed that. There's a kid here on the entranceway, and kind of weird pictures of insects, which little eerie.
Interesting.
This is from the SD New York. So this means this is from the original investigation. So the EFTA republished these, but these people went in and broke into, I don't know if you remember this, but they broke into the mansion in Manhattan and they took pictures. And for some reason, they've redacted these 3 pictures on the left, but on the right, there's a woman looking in the mirror.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of like a weird wall with curtains. Like, I think somebody said they were covering up a window, one of the victims, but it's just very strange. And there's like another hand there. If you see it, I don't know if that's the full picture, because you can see the woman, but there's also there's a hand there right in the middle. It's above those 2 or those 4 pillows. You see that little kid's hand or something? So I don't know if that's the full picture, or maybe it's her hand. I don't know.
I think it might be her.
Okay, but it's just kind of a strange picture.
But going back to where we're talking about with the magic, and of course you got sex magic and all this stuff. Every iteration of this idea comes back to something sexual. So she's connecting with whatever. Obviously, it's symbolism, but there's also a sexual connotation. She's totally naked and voluptuous and all this other stuff.
It's interesting you say sex magic, because some people haven't looked into, maybe that's why Jeff needed so many victims. It was an industrial scale, is that he was doing sex magic, or maybe trying to draw energy out of these kids like a vampire. I don't know. I'm willing to go there after I heard the whole mirror thing.
Yeah.
That there's something else going on. And there was like stories where he was very graphic stuff, but like somebody said it wasn't like he was naturally trying, in a romantic thing. Like he was just trying to get to this state for one reason or another. Like that was his power. It was weird. It wasn't like he was like really involved in contacting the girl, like on a personal level, if that makes sense. Like he was just kind of doing his things.
Real quick, with the whole bloodletting and all this stuff, back in the day, if people do the research, some of these oligarchs would have children in the basement and slowly drain their blood, and they would drink it. This is fact. It's not my theory. And then as an allegory, when you watch Monsters Inc., when the demons come into the room, they have the kids scream. It's an allegory to that same thing: the fear, trauma, we get energy from the kids. That's what the demons did, right? And if you look at Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, it's the same thing. Only thing is when they take the energy from the person, they're sucking it in, like they're taking in their spirit or something like that, to the same issue that is actually real.
That's what Crowley did with the Scarlet Women. They were like spiritual repositories, energetic repositories, and they were like, they become something different the average person wouldn't even conceptualize it, but they become almost like portals to another world. Like, it's very strange, and Jeff may have been doing that.
Yeah. It's always some sacrifice in blood. Whatever they're doing, there's always some blood involved, whether it's animal blood or, blood of children and all this stuff. Weirdo, gross stuff.
What's for sure about Jeff is that he's never going to synagogue. He's not going to any religious thing. He doesn't quote the Bible. He doesn't have, he just doesn't even have like a shred of anything theological.
Yeah.
The only thing what's interesting is like, there's one EFTA file where all he does is quote the most vicious stuff from the Bible, like where you go after your enemies, you smite people and destroy them all, and leave no person alive, no animal. And that's what was in one of his emails. But it's not like turn the other cheek or love your brother or, these kind of admonitions, but certainly from the New Testament. But even like
let me show you the thing really quick. I'm not going to play the audio because I don't know where it is in the video, but I'm going to show people that this actually exists. Let me remove this for a second and add this back. The title says Alison Brie, I think that's how you pronounce her name, says Jared Leto covered face in blood filming as Skeletor. And she says it in the video, so you can go look this up on YouTube for yourself and watch the video. And again, I don't know if she's being I don't think she's being tongue-in-cheek. I think it's a literal thing. I'm not sure if he actually put blood or if it looks like blood, but either way, in the symbolism, it's not good. So anyway.
Wow, that's just one more data point. That's just crazy.
Yeah, what's this, Blue Johnson Traveler? We talked about Jared Leto in our review of Suicide Squad, so you might want to check that out. It's on both of our channels, and we talked about him a lot. Enough, anyway. All right, so
this is like from the original kind of cops going into his mansion. So this is and this is another one. This is SDNY, so this is like at the mansion. Some other massage room. The mansion's huge, by the way. I think it's 6 stories. But his choices of like people or females, this is like somebody who came out of a concentration camp or somebody who's on heroin. It's very disturbing. I think it's an insight into Jeff. So talk about deviant art. Like this is, I think he's a real misogynist. Like I think he's totally like you have to, I mean, I think he's a sociopath, like to do this over and over again. Right. And probably, and certainly an occultist at this point.
Definitely. I mean, it's just like some of the writers, people give them a pass. They know a lot. And so does this guy. The things they put in the movies and what we're seeing here are so accurate to a lot of things I'm reading about and what we supposed, even just speculating. It's all accurate.
Yeah, I think you're right. So this is interesting. This is this kind of sacrilege. So this is from the SD New York again. And then it came out and again in the EFTA, but a crucifix. So there's a Christian thing in the public that the public sees, but they may not see the stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that's there, but this is the kind of duality in the Christian.
Right.
The misuse of Christian things. You see that at Zorro too, like big, huge crucifixes, like from Catholicism, like from the Spanish influence.
Yeah.
And then just horrible things happening in the background, and it becomes, I think like Crowley would like it's like doing horrible things in a church. It accentuates the transgressiveness.
Yeah. And you know, in culture and in some of the music videos, a lot of these people wear a cross to denigrate what it means. You know, people think, oh yeah, that could be a Christian. No, they're wearing it to disrespect it because of their deeds, whether it's secret or not. They wear the cross to disrespect the meaning of it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. This is another one. You can see the Epstein, New York. So this is the initial, breaking down of the wall of the door, which you can see online. Them breaking into 971st Street, the mansion, and just I don't know if that's Christ or a saint, but this is when it was taken in July 2019.
Yeah,
all these pieces have been sold off.
Yeah, we can't see it clearly, but I don't know, it's kind of weird. I suppose it's a figure of Jesus, I guess. He sure likes his statues though. I remember you're probably coming up to it soon, but the whole pedestal looking stuff.
There's a lot of overlaps.
Yeah.
This is a bathroom with the ballerina, and you'll see this kind of like within the files. A lot of ballerina dancers were abused, and there's pictures of ballerinas in there. So this is one of his bathrooms. That's kind of a weird maybe fetish or fixation on Jeff as these dancers, and that's where he like was a predator for a lot of his dance studios.
Mm-hmm.
It's industrial. They're just finding as many women as possible on like a multi-level marketing thing, right? So if one comes in, he's like, well, where are all your friends? And then their friends would come in, and then his friend, he did the same thing to them. And so it was just like trying to filter as many women, vulnerable women, through as possible.
Yeah. And isn't there some occult connection to ballerina? And for those watching, I'm not saying doing ballerina is evil. I'm just saying in some of these societies, they have some issue with the ballerina symbolism.
I wouldn't know. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. I didn't really know about the red shoes. Like I'd seen the red shoes,
yeah,
but I didn't know the kind of Mephistophelian goat connection to it at all. And now it makes perfect sense why it's there, because you'll see Podesta's brother wearing it's like a club of red shoe people. And also Bill Maher likes to wear red shoes. And one of the new age guys, it's not Gupta, or it's
she wrote that Transcendental Meditation book.
No, it's a dude. It's the guy who's friends with Epstein. His name is
Tupac Shakur.
Close, yeah, something like that. Close to Tupac Shakur.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like
I forgot his name.
It'll come to me. It's maybe somebody in the chat knows. He's kind of like a well-known new age guy.
Chopra?
Yeah, Deepak Chopra.
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra. Always wearing red shoes.
Yeah.
Like it's really creepy. Like you got to watch it. Like it's like you can just type in Deepak Chopra and he'll just be wearing red shoes all the time.
Yeah.
Well, this is an interesting one. It's also it's on his wall in the entryway, but it's just Jeff kind of how idiosyncratic and how self-centered he was. This is his girlfriend at the time, Shuliak, but like he's the, big accomplished guy and she's at his side, adoring him. Right. Yeah. And I think that this is an insight into his personality, a bachelor all the way to 66.
Yeah.
As far as we know,
and
he had like godchildren and stuff like that, but he was never married.
And his little smirk there is also deceiving. Got all sorts of cats running around in his head, man.
Yeah, he does. That interview with Bannon that we showed at the intro is really important too. If you watch the whole thing, he's lying through the whole thing. All my money's clean. I've done a really good job. And it's just like you look and it's just dirty, dirty, dirty tax manipulation and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's very opaque, like where he got his valuation. Like maybe if I started a company and was very successful, I could easily tie my net worth to stock that built up in a corporation, right? So I could like say, well, I'm worth 300 million because I made a company worth of 3 billion and my stock is 10%. Therefore, I'm worth 300 million. Jeff is not like that. He doesn't have proof of where his income that he worked for came from.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if that makes sense, it's not clear.
Well, it was you that had a video about, it was some guy, it looks like an Arab or something, explaining
Oh,
how
yeah.
they
Yeah.
hide the money.
Do you want me to play that again? I can bring it up.
Yeah, that'll be fine. What's his name? Tim Greenglass says, I admired Crowley for a while based on all the rock stars that boosted his reputation. Yeah, that's the deception, right? They put this guy on a pedestal and you get, interested in him. And then you go down a deep, dark rabbit hole. The fact that Betty White was into Aleister Crowley really threw me.
That's mind-blowing. I had no idea.
And she brought in a bunch of vulgarity with her comedy, and they use comedy to pass your defense systems and put in whatever message they want, and she was famous for that.
If you can bring that, it's an AI video.
Millions of dollars for paintings that look absolutely terrible. It's not because they love ugly art. It's because they understand something you were never taught. Here is how it works. When the tax authorities send a billionaire an $80 million tax bill, they don't pay for it like normal people. Instead, they go shopping. Not for a yacht, not for a mansion, but for a painting. They drop $50 million on something that looks like a child threw paint at a wall. But here is what most people completely miss. They do not hang it in the living room. They store it in a free port. A free port is basically a high-security warehouse where the ultra-wealthy park their assets and bypass most tax rules entirely. The painting just sits there, tax-free. Now here is where it gets powerful. They put it up for auction. Other billionaires in the same circle start bidding against each other. Not because they want the ugly painting, but because by doing so, they artificially inflate the price on paper. That $50 million painting. It is now valued at $80 million. And here is where the real move happens. They do not sell it. They donate it to a museum. And the moment they do, the government hands them a full $80 million tax write-off. That original tax bill? Gone. They paid zero to the government, offloaded the painting, and now the world calls them generous, art-loving philanthropists. The museum gets a headline. They get to keep their $80 million. So the next time you see an ugly painting sell for millions, understand this. To billionaires, it is not art. It is a financial weapon disguised as culture, and the system was built to let them use it. If you want to learn more ways billionaires protect their wealth, comment wealth and I will personally send you my playbook.
And you said that's an AI video, but the message is real.
Yeah, that's the message is real.
All right.
It's a good one. I mean, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, imagine like this is a hypothetical, but like he's networked with a lot. Like they sold each other's properties to each other for $10, right? So Lutnick bought his property next to Epstein's for 10, and then Wexner sold this $50 million property on paper to Epstein for $10, right? So then they avoid it. Like, well, what are they doing? They're playing games with taxes, I think. But say, for example, that you have these wealthy friends, right? And you have something made by Hunter Biden that he was in a garage doing something with watercolors that looks like a child did it or somebody in high school, but it's now worth $500,000. Like Hunter Biden sold those for $500,000. And then let's say that gets sold and goes to somewhere, and then they start bidding on it. And then like, okay, I'll buy it for $3 million. They exchange that $3 million. They take the tax write-off or ownership or something, and then you can get a loan on that too. If you keep it, you get a loan on the $300 million apprised valuation, and then you don't repay the loan, and then the property goes to the bank, and you get your money.
Yeah.
And all you do lose is something you knew wasn't even worth $5,000. Like you can do, you just write it off and say, hey, I'm going bankrupt there, or that company who bought it is bankrupt, but you internalize all the funds.
Yeah.
You can do all kinds of weird stuff.
Makes sense. I mean, a lot of the new artists, I'm like, oh, what's so beautiful about this? Look like you threw up on the doggone canvas. I was kind of coming home.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
But this is in Zorro Ranch, some of the classical stuff you'll see, like things, you know, stuff from the Renaissance type paintings.
Yeah.
This is a weird one from his thing. It's some kind of nude on there. There's other nudes. There's other art pieces that are around. This is a picture from the mansion of Little St. James. That ties in between his property in Manhattan and Little St. James. This is actually a picture of Bacchus, the god of wine.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is inside the mansion.
They in reggae music, they had a dance called a bacchanal. At that time, I didn't know what it meant. After reading about Bacchus, I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Right.
And this whole bacchanal worship, if you will, god of drunkenness and orgies and blah blah blah. People just love these false gods, but that's, you know, we live in a fallen world, so you're gonna expect this stuff. But when you see it become more popular, it's just amazing what people will do.
This is what Jeff wanted to promote, so it makes sense that he has Bacchus, who's like, I think, associated with Pan, the god Pan, and all these other things like.
Oh yeah,
Pan and all these things. So Bacchus makes Bacchanal. Yeah.
Pan would be a really good deep dive for people. Oh my god!
And this is a reproduction by a famous painter, Peter Paul Rubens.
Mm-hmm.
Technical sketch. Pretty interesting stuff. I already showed that. They couldn't identify this other slide of this guy with the weird head.
Yeah, I don't know what that
was just some kind of deviant art thing, art pieces. Notice the mirrors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And if you came in late, we're an hour and 60 minutes in, and we talked about scrying, mirrors, reflective surfaces, and what they mean in the occult, and it's all about contacting spirits or reaching to a higher plane of existence, all that crazy stuff. You know, a lot of this has to do with getting into an altered state as well. If you stare at the mirror enough, you'll get into an altered state. Stare at anything. They talk about emptying in your mind, but others talk about focusing your mind on a thing, and whatever happens, whether you contact a spirit or drive yourself insane.
I think that was one of the things that Abramovich said, is like concentrate or focus on the spirit or do something. And I can bring up her scrying mirror here in a minute. I have it somewhere. This is really interesting because here's Noam Chomsky, Woody Allen, Epstein, possible victim there. I don't have any idea.
Dang, Noam Chomsky too.
Close friend of Epstein. Never repented.
Wow.
People say in person Chomsky is a really evil, like he has a presence of evil. Thought he was an evil person. I've heard that from a couple of sources.
Wow.
Which he's presented as kind of like some left-wing hero, you know.
Right.
Manufacturing consent and all this. But this is the art piece that they have above them. And who knows what they paid for that, but this is like another kind of modern art, not masterpiece in my opinion.
No,
the artist's name is Rick Prohl.
Pure dog poop.
A master of Gothic angst. And his wide range of subjects and art forms, from Shakespeare's Macbeth to flamenco music, Martha Graham and Goya. People likened him to another guy named Basquiat. Have you ever heard of Basquiat?
No, I don't think so.
I think he's like, Basquiat was from Haiti or something, but he painted these kind of grungy looking depictions or whatever. But anyway.
Yeah.
So these guys are, you know, in front of another modern artist. This one's called Three Little Tomatoes or something like that.
Yeah. Why would you have this? It just reeks of PDF files.
It's very strange. Like at first glance, it's just a bunch of kids in swimsuits, but then there's like lighting associated with theater, and in the background there's a tornado. Like,
yeah. Oh, now I see it. Okay. I'm usually good at picking that stuff up, but I didn't see that at all. The tornado.
I don't know. It's called Little Miss Pink Tomato, 1995. And it's confirmed owned by Jeff. Guy's name is Damian Loeb. He's the artist.
Mm-hmm.
Sold for 40 to 50,000. Like, okay. And that's Damian Loeb there, and his buddy is Moby, who he grew up with.
Yeah. As a side note, did you ever catch wind of on Amazon and Wayfair? There were people selling items for a ridiculous amount of prices. There were bags and furniture, $50,000 for this little table, $20,000 for this bag. And one time somebody caught in one of these pictures, I don't have the evidence, but I saw it myself. There was a like a kid's face in the zipper part of the bag. Wow. Yeah. This was a thing I think it was around the time either before or after COVID.
There are people who believe that that's real. I have not looked into it in great detail.
Yeah. It was
But there are Wayfair purchases in the Jeffrey Epstein file. So you can just type in, go to justice.gov Epstein and type in Wayfair.
Yeah. Yeah. At that time, I saw it for myself, and it wasn't like I wasn't following any story. And then somebody mentioned, I said, okay, let me go look for myself. And I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. So, yeah.
There's weird trafficking things going on all through this thing.
Yeah.
It's so vast. It's an industrial scale. The people cannot comprehend how big it was. And I think he was just a node. People see him as a central figure. I think they're all kind of doing it. Other people and his friends are trafficking too. And it's a moneymaker. So he's just one of the pimps, so to speak. And he's going to Mexico, and people are coming through from south of the border, and Venezuela and Brazil and things like that. And they also had investments in weird things that you wouldn't think they had investments. Jeff had investments in Lifeline, and that's the parent company of Shutterfly. And this other company, no, Shutterfly owned Lifeline. Mm-hmm. And Lifeline is the company that took pictures of every high school kid in America. And literally, when the Epstein files dropped, the people, like, parents freaked out, and whole school systems dropped Lifeline because it gave access to people to look at kids. Like, if you're an owner in that thing and you have Jeff's holdings in Lifeline were in the $5 or $10 million amount. Like, this isn't a huge company.
Yeah,
it's not $1 billion company.
Look at the owner of Squatty Potty. Right. An obscure thing like that is connected to Epstein. Like, seriously?
Yeah, and then the guy got busted for child porn.
Yeah.
Like, the dude's in jail.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Damian Loeb. Huh. All right, so what's this now?
Just another one.
Are these youngsters?
Yeah, naked kids in like it seems like on a inner tube, one of his properties. Zorro Ranch, Bill Gates, all kind of in framed pictures.
Yeah.
Then you have the temple. Well, we're moving to Little St. James.
I think you pointed out, now it makes sense to me, because I didn't really do a lot of research in the whole Epstein thing. I was more distracted towards, breaking down my movies or whatnot. And you pointed out that this is resembles the Tesseract, the interdimensional cube, which is also found in the Marvel universe, but in science it's there as well, and obviously the occult. And I think it has some relation to Saturn worship.
Would make sense. I think there's a weird cube on this, like Saturn too, when you like look at the planet itself too.
I think it's the North Pole of Saturn has a octagon shape. Obviously, looks like a cube as well. And that's why these people, Saturn means Satan. So
This is all temple stuff. There's steps leading up to it. But one of the interesting things is like people are like, oh, this reminds me of some Middle Eastern temple. It used to have a dome on the top.
Yeah.
The dome either flew off or they took it down. It was covered in statuaries. There apparently were more chairs here. And there's stories of like Jeff getting up and talking to all his guests and talking about Crowley stuff. Like, we're all free here. Everybody's liberated. And then somebody would, these are stories also of cannibalism. It's hard to verify. But,
sorry, I'm not sure if the dome that was on top is related to ISIS and the womb of ISIS, just like the Capitol in DC.
I think it's all there. It's all like some kind of sexual magical, view.
Yeah,
the dome's there. The dome next to like either a phallus or some kind of obelisk.
Right.
There's somebody broke this down like it's, and there's the palm trees right here. Some people speculated, oh, this is like I was saying earlier, this is something from the Middle East. Well, it's verified. Like somebody found this picture. It's pretty amazing. It looks just like it, right? This is a Mameluke thing with the palm trees and the dome.
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, in these most recent drops, there it is. This is the same picture somebody found. So they validated these like intrepid researchers. They figured out.
Is there something you could read there? I can't see it.
Yeah, it's from Ian Nicola to Jeff. It's June 11th, 2013. Yes, I was thinking paint the blocks of rock getting horizontal lines like in the picture attached.
Oh, look at that.
If you zoom the picture you've sent me, there are blocks of rock on different tones of brown, gray, and the light horizontal tones of green. I left a little space in between the blocks in the picture you sent below. The space between the blocks is very small. Should I do a space? I did the arch with smaller blocks because I saw in some Mameluke architecture pictures, the arch has smaller blocks than the sides of the door. In this picture I attached here, I draw the blocks of the arch larger. So Jeff sent this picture to this guy saying, this is what I want. And Ian Nicola draws back. So today we continue drawing the rocks. I think it looks pretty good. What do you think? Once we have all the rocks drawn, we can paint the rocks. Maybe it's better to draw all the building first and then start painting. Painting it would be easier because we have to do measurements and taping. I built the arch like the Mamluk architecture still with 2 arches. If you find some design for the inside door, please send it to me so I can reproduce. I saw a nice design for the top door inside arch when you were here, but I can't find it. Thank you, Eon. Cool. Yeah, I think he's a known designer. Like, I think he has an international presence. So it wasn't
so weird. So weird.
And this is what was found inside when they kind of investigated. This is what was found inside the temple. There's a number of things, but this is the African kind of like mask.
Yeah.
There's the crystal skull, and then that red thing in the back is a mask.
Yeah.
And that's either an African head or headdress of an African something.
He really reminds me of Crowley, because Crowley went all over the world, as you know, because you wrote the book on it, to gather artifacts or, praise whatever deity and incorporate that into his thelema. And then Crystal Skull, in the movie it related it to some alien energy, which I don't believe in aliens, but that was interesting in the Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
On the very top of that temple is this. It's the zodiac. It's all the constellations.
Yeah.
Somebody spent time, painting this. You can see the names of all of them. If you scroll in, you can see the EFTA number here. But you can see all the handiwork and how much detail they put into it.
Right.
Kind of things that, like, they reference, like, oh, there's the horse, the male-headed horse or whatever. Was it Cerberus or no? I forgot this. What's the creature's name with the
Centaur?
Centaur. There's the unicorn. All that stuff. All these things they reference in the occult and Greek mythology and things like that.
Right.
One of the other kickers is you can see at the upper part, you can see this picture that I just saw, but there was inside that temple, there was this huge bookshelf, which nobody saw the books. But there's a huge tell here, and these are two different pillars. That's an Ionic pillar and a Corinthian pillar. One is turned, and that's
Is that a reference to Masonic Jacob and Boaz?
exactly. So this is like an occult thing. It's very Jewish too, like because Jews are, come from the temple and the background and reject what happened after
the cross,
Christ and the cross.
Yeah,
but they have things like the spiral staircase, Boaz and Jashin. There's a spiral staircase in the original temple design, so that's why you see spiral staircases in masonry and things like that.
Yeah,
but this is like really important. If you're Jewish, this is important stuff. And if you're really sacrilegious, then you put this in sacrilegious context, just like you would if you're Crowley, you profane these things. The cakes of light are a mockery of the host or the communion, right?
Right.
That's what it is. Like, so these are, I think, in this context of Epstein, who isn't religious at all. I mean, his religion is the occult and like sex trafficking.
Right.
He's not a good person in any way, shape.
Yeah.
There's no good bone in his body. I can't really. He presents himself as a philanthropist and helping people on. But he's just using people, and all the women who came through his orbit. If they survived, they didn't drop dead or mysteriously die, or were suicided, or didn't go insane. They're touched by something bad.
And there's an overlap between the Masonic Freemasonry and Zoroastrianism and the Kabbalah and other things as well, because people be surprised how much we're talking about today comes from the East. When I'm talking about the Asian nations. So again, all these people flowed out of Babylon. So it makes sense, but some of it didn't necessarily cross over into the other cultures at first. And then we started adapting from the East, the yin and the yang, and everything, all the symbols, the Ouroboros, which if people don't know, that's the one you see with the snake eating its tail, or the number 8 on its side. That's the Ouroboros, infinity, Satan's rebirth, and death. And again, I keep saying it, other sexual connotations.
You can see the EFTA number right there on the bottom right.
Yeah. Yeah.
This has to be 12 or 14 feet high.
Yeah.
It's imposing.
Yeah.
More nudes. This is from Little St. James. This is a lot of people have speculated about this, like hand drawing, but I'd prefer not even to focus on this as this chalkboard, but this is in Little St. James.
Mm-hmm.
The giveaways are these little Negredo statues that are in kind of a central room. And I think one is of like a head, and there's another centaur over there. And then on the right, I don't even know what this is, but it's this kind of style.
Yeah.
But he had this on the wall. This is his handwriting. It's kind of been confirmed.
Yeah. He likes Victorian art.
Pardon me?
He likes Victorian art.
Yeah, he likes certain things. He's a very fastidious collector. Like, I think he probably, if you would have asked him if he was an art collector, I think he would have said yes. Like, I think that was his jam. Like, he was into art collecting.
Yeah.
And very, like, exacting specifications. Like, you can see it here. He has this put in the thing. He's got the silver, he's got the silver headdress.
Yeah.
I do have a thing with that. I don't know what happened to him. I have an explanation of what the crystal skull has some deeper meaning.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm about to drop a link in the book because I know some of you have questions. Where did he get this stuff from? This is not the only book. This is not the only book, but it will give you some information that you are looking for. It explains a lot.
Can you bring up that other slide, that independent slide, not the deep and narrow one?
Okay, give me 2 seconds here. Let me get back to that. All right. We're talking about this right here. Move, add this one.
Do you feel like reading that?
Let's see here. In the occult, the New Age spirituality, crystal skulls are revered as powerful metaphysical tools. Practitioners believe they act as energy amplifiers, psychic transmitters, and repositories of ancient wisdom. Rather than symbols of death, they represent higher consciousness, spiritual rebirth, and a crystalline library of human knowledge. Core beliefs and practices: energy amplification, the 13 skulls prophecy, channeling and divination, shadow work of clarity. Oh, well, they are crystal, aren't they? You can scry through them. So origins and popularization. While occult lore claims their skulls are ancient relics from lost civilizations like Atlantis or the Maya, anthropological research such as studies by the Smithsonian National Museum and Natural History has shown that the famous skulls circulating in collections were crafted in Europe in the late 19th and early 20th century. You want me to,
But they think they're from Atlantis. So
what was I
kind of
talking
craft
about?
your own reality.
Remember I was saying that earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Crazy.
So there you go. That's
Jeff. Let me try to get this link in here for everybody. Let's see. This is the book is called Masonic Occult Symbols Illustrated. And if you want to support the author, well, this is a web version, so I'm not giving you some stolen material, And for those that want to grab it, hit the link and see what's in there. You're going to get proof for a lot of stuff, and things that you probably thought of before are going to get validated. Because sometimes we do, not we, as far as like me and William, most people just do, scarce research, 5 minutes, and they think they found the answer. But this goes deep. So check that out. All right. What are we waiting on here?
you have to bring the
This one.
So this is an interesting one. This is from that. If you go here, this is like the we're both clicking on it.
No, I'm not touching anything.
Okay, well, so it's moving around otherwise. This is like that picture of the chalkboard in that room. But inside this room, you can see the chalkboard on the left is this weird kind of earth with, it's all black, but it's also some kind of demon statue right in the middle.
Yeah.
Of a guy with wings. Almost looks like the Mothman or something.
It does.
And then you see the red slippers right there, right? We just talked about the slippers earlier.
Yeah.
The red insole slippers, almost like they're a piece of art. And then you also have this red kind of leather thing that is evocative of Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
So everything is red. The ritual place,
the chair
thing is red. The chair, the billiard room, it's all red.
Yeah.
I don't know what the statuaries are in the back there, but there's more statues. So you see kind of this through here. I don't know what art that is, but it's a demon. It's not like an angel. This thing in front. I do have a picture of it in front. You can see it here. Yeah.
Interesting position. It's like whoever's sitting there, except for the one directly with the back turned, could just focus on it.
Why would you have a picture, like an orb there that may be the earth, but it doesn't show anything?
Right.
I don't think that's redacted. Yeah. It's just a black orb.
Yeah. And that's the chalkboard there that you were looking at earlier.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
So you have this whole place has these kind of like black statues, these dark iron statues on a white thing. It almost reminds you of like 2001: A Space Odyssey or something, like on a white floor. Like what the heck? but it's hard. I can't zoom it in there. There's the zoom in.
Okay.
This thing has a nose like it's a 16th century piece from a Venetian mask.
Yeah. And totally naked. These people love the naked statues.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the provenance of this. I don't know if somebody in the chat knows where that's from. But these are weird. This is deviant art to me.
Oh, yes.
Probably secret.
Oh, there it goes.
Yep, there's another one. Girl's washing herself. This is another. They call it a toilet or whatever.
Yeah.
It's pretty graphic. It's like
yeah. I was at a Italian restaurant one time, and you never know what people are into. And I got up to use the restroom, and as soon as I opened up a door, the door to the restroom, there was a big statue of Zeus with his penis in his hand, and the water's coming out of it. I was like, "What is this?" You never know what people are into, man.
You don't. There's a lot of strange, like, paganism and occultism out there these days, guys. There's no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is Negredo, the initial foundational stage in the alchemical magnum opus. And so all those like statues seem to be they have a common trait. They're all in that same dark thing. Same with that weird thing. Like some of the stuff I don't even know. Some of it from the chat may know. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's another picture of another. I think that's a different demon god. This is from James O'Keefe.
Let me see here. This looks like those secret parties they love to have. Aren't they usually have? Don't they usually have masks with the bird face there? Yeah. And funny thing about some of these old aristocrat parties, the jester would be the one to usher in whatever spirit they were calling into the room at the party. Yeah.
This is that's his hands on the bottom. And he's in a kind of almost like a gymnastics pose.
Yes.
Legs are up, head is to the side with wings. And this is a better view of that kind of fake globe because you can see it has etchings on it. Like, what the heck is that? I don't have any idea.
Yeah. I
don't know what the purpose. I don't know why I would buy that. Like, oh, okay, that's it.
Right. Isn't that I don't know exactly who that is, but looks more African, but it's these gods or false gods change their appearance in different cultures. Apollo, maybe.
Believe it or not, there's a symbol in the occult or esotericism where the bow and arrow represent the human will. So if you'll see that, there's pictures of David Bowie doing it, he's just out playing with a bow. No, he's representing this concept.
Yeah,
and this is it. They have all these conceptual, symbolic concepts. This perhaps is one of them. Is why he bought that. In occult esoteric traditions, the archer and bow serve as potent metaphors for the human soul's journey and mastery of spiritual energy.
Yeah. Liz 490 pointed out that all the sexual imagery, according to Kinsey, is normal and healthy. And he was a follower of Crowley.
Sure was. He was an admirer.
Yeah.
And worked with Kenneth Anger, who was a huge Satanist, literally called himself a warlock. Associated, you can read my book, Children of the Beast, associated with Mansons and Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page, the list goes on, all the way up to people in the modern age, James Franco. It's really disturbing stuff. Paradox of withdrawal. In Kabbalistic and mystical traditions, the act of drawing the bow, pulling the arrow towards one's own heart to hit a distinct target, symbolizes how deep inward retreat and self-reflection are necessary to influence the outside world.
Yeah.
Union of opposites, so it's there. It's spiritualness.
See, it keeps coming back to the same thing: the fusion of opposites, and there's always some sexual connotation to it. Always, can't run away from that. Look at all the cults. All cults, every single one of them, abuse people sexually.
Always, it's like if you're in a cult, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
This is just a kind of a list of some of the stuff that is in known in the stuff. I don't think we've seen Coming of Age, but we saw Parsing Bill. That's Bill with the red shoes. Little Miss Pink Tomato. Nude showering painting. I don't think we saw that. Femme Fatale. Didn't see that. Expressionist. I don't know if we saw Melia, but these aren't sold for a lot. They're reclining on the line. I have that.
Yeah.
15-foot artwork of naked girl. Oh yeah, we saw that. That's the girl that was upside down.
Right.
That didn't look, she looked like she had been starved or something.
Mm-hmm.
So there's stuff in there.
Oh, John.
Do you know who this is?
Not exactly, no.
His name is Auguste Rodin. He's French.
Okay.
And he was probably one of the foremost, if not the foremost, sculptors in the modern age in the 20th century. So he was right around the turn of the centuries when he was making his pieces. You ever seen The Thinker?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So he's famous for The Thinker. And casted a lot of, he had a huge studio. And these are huge casts. Some of these castings are just absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
And they're extraordinary because they'll last forever. Because they're metal, hopefully, if they're taken care of. It's not like, working in marble or something.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeffrey, somebody was sent to Jeffrey about one of his pieces called The Gates of Hell. Do you feel like reading this?
I spoke to a gentleman today from the Muse, what's his name, Musée Rodin?
They means museum in French. Musée Rodin.
Okay.
Rodin is Auguste Rodin.
Okay. The Gates of Hell, the museum really wants its pieces to be exhibited publicly. So if purchased, placed in a museum for all to see. If a piece is purchased for private use, it becomes complicated. The man wanted to know if you had anything to do with the person in Geneva who had also recently asked for a price, has interest in the Gates of Hell. I requested this gentleman, please give me a price, and he said he could only give me an idea of price as it is up to the board of trustees. They give the final price. You must send a written letter to the director of the board of this. It's a process, but finally he gave me the idea of price as 22 to 25 million euros. The man said he had received my email as well and would respond back with a synopsis of this information. I have yet to receive it. I sent another email to him.
Right. So this is like a big wig at this museum sending something to Jeff about this piece. He's 22 to 25 million. And Jeff really wants this piece. And so there are these emails back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It's two, like he says, as discussed yesterday. Hughes Herpain is another French guy. Original cast to 12 cast. Probably, there already have been 8 cast. We'll send a letter to Madame Cheviot. I've told you the general reserve for public. It'll take 3 years to cast. So Jeff really wants this piece, The Gates of Hell.
Huh.
And one of the thing that led me to these emails is that spoken with the Rodin Museum, they've asked me to please send an email to Madame Avar about Gates of Hell. And this is from Jeff, 2015, October 31st. So on Halloween, he sends this email to somebody. It doesn't really say.
Yeah.
That's his email. It says, call the museum and find out how much for the Gates of Hell with a link, right? And that's literally on Halloween. So he does these weird dates. Like it's a weird dates for the Gates of Hell.
Yeah. For people that don't know, biblically, like when Jesus was talking to his disciples and he said the gates of hell won't prevail, it was a literal place right beside the Grotto of Pan. And people would visit that place all the time. So I'm not sure if this is a direct replica of the gates, but here you are. This is something sinister.
It really is. It's a huge piece, much like we saw that bookshelf that was like 12, 14 feet tall. This is probably 14 feet tall. It's massive. But if you see that the thing that led me to those emails is that this has an EFTA number. So somebody went to Palo Alto on Stanford University and took pictures of the Gates of Hell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a date. I wish I had a date for these. Yeah. But it probably preceded or was sometime around that 2015 date. And when you see the thinker right there, right? You see the thinker
Yeah.
in the center. So little pieces of Rodin's work are interspersed throughout the gates of hell. And then on the top, it's the three specters, I think, or something like that. Like there's some kind of classical illusion. But it's a really incredible piece. And I wish I should take a picture of somebody standing up next to it.
Right.
But he wanted to pay 22 or 23 million to have this whole thing cast. I don't know where he put it, but this is like picture after picture. So 04, 07, 08. So somebody's moving around, getting perspective, taking pictures of it. There's like 6 or 7 pictures of it.
I couldn't see it clearly, but it reminds me, I know it's not exact, but it reminds me of that portrait in that Al Pacino, Keanu Reeves movie about the devil. I can't remember the title of the movie. I know the chat will probably give us the title, but yeah.
This is really fascinating. So it's like, wow, this is something else. And then they had this other thing, the woman on this is called a caryatid, which is also kind of a temple illusion, because a caryatid was a statue that would uphold a temple back in ancient Greece. But he calls this a caryatid. Apparently, it's somewhere interspersed within this larger statuary piece.
Yeah.
But this is Auguste Rodin's Fallen Caryatid carrying her stone. So it's kind of has something about under the massive weight. She symbolizes burden, suffering, and human struggle against overwhelming forces.
Yeah.
But it's in Palo Alto. So it's like he's around. Somebody's around. Either he took these pictures or somebody you know, but it's in this thing. One of the interesting things about Rodin is that Crowley knew Rodin and wrote a book about him called 7 Lithographs, and literally wrote verse about Auguste Rodin. Spent time with him in Paris and wrote about caryatids and Rodin. I don't know if you want to read this, but he wrote this kind of salutatory poem to Crowley.
See if I could. It's pretty small. Let me see if I can see it here. Here is a man for all the world to see. His work stands, shaming nature, clutched, combined. In the soul, his center of a mastermind, the Egyptian force, the Greek simplicity, the Celtic subtlety, through suffering free, the calm, great courage of new art, refined in nervous majesty. I don't know what that word is next. Oh, and dwells behind the beauty of each radiant harmony. Titan, the little centuries drop back from the contemplation, stand and span with one great grip his cup, the zodiac. I think it says, distill from all times, art, the wine, the truth, drink and drink the mighty health and ages youth. Salute Augustine Rodin. Here is a man.
Right. So Crowley really liked it's basically a salute to the zodiac too, with one great grip of his cup, the zodiac.
Yes.
And if you have some money, you can go to Weiser Antiquarian. I don't know if this is still available, but there it is, 66 pages with art from Crowley. One of the other things that's also in the files, like something sinister, like you mentioned, the Gates of Hell, is this, which is called the Slaughter of the Innocents.
Oh, yeah.
And you see the EFTA number down there. And this is kind of like what led me to another one, which this is the artist. His name is Dehanin or something. I forgot. There's a bunch of depictions of the massacre of the innocents or the slaughter of the innocents.
Yeah.
But this is the biblical thing that references this, is this passage from Matthew 2, which details this whole story about the slaughter of the innocents, which Jeff really wanted a 9x9 depiction specifically by this artist in this piece. You can see him holding the baby up in the back. Like he's literally holding it, and there's like pulling apart a baby here.
Yes.
Like this is one of the most horrible things in the Bible.
Right.
And
Herod.
do you want to read this, or do you want me to read it, or should we read it or just move forward? I don't know.
Sure. I mean, let's see. We have like I don't know. I know. So I'm respecting.
We're
your
almost at
time,
2
so,
hours, but
yeah.
if you want to read it, feel free. I don't care.
Let's see here. It's kind of
I'd
tiny for me,
imagine.
but I'll try. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the people, chief priests and teachers and of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. In Bethlehem in Judea, they replied, "For this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people, Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen went it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. One coming to the house, they on coming to the house, they saw the child with the Mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to the country by another route. And that was the decree. And so they escaped to Egypt. So he says here, when they had gone, an angel of the Lord appeared and Joseph in a dream. "Get up," he said, "take the child and his mother and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." So he got up, took the child and his mother during the night, and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious, and he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and its vicinity who were 2 years and under, in accordance with the time he had learned from the Magi. Then that was said through the prophet. Then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. "A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her child and refusing to be comforted because they are no more."
It's an incredible event, and it's memorialized, at least in the Catholic Church. I don't know if Protestants do, but there's a day for it. And that day is December 28th or 29th in the Orthodox Church. They have either a feast or just something to memorialize this.
Yeah.
So remember that date. We remember that Epstein asked for the gates of hell on Halloween, right? So here's Sarah. Sarah Kellen was one of his secretaries. She said, "Hi, Rich. Jeffrey's asking if you can FedEx the painting he had made of the Massacre of the Innocents to the ranch." So that's Hell Ranch, Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. It's a large 9x9, interesting numerology there, right? So 9x9 canvas that we had rolled out for him to see in the entryway, where they are killing babies. So she knows it's about killing babies, and it's going in the entryway. He wants to use it on the ranch and is hoping you could FedEx arrive by Wednesday. Thanks, Sarah. Then from Jeff to Sarah, "If you'd like to use my house to get things done, please when is the furniture being delivered?" Sarah sends something to him. "Regarding the Massacre of the Innocents, please see below. Would you like to proceed? It's $2,000. And then Ocean's Bridge is talking about it. Please note our clients have included museums, interior designers, galleries, over 10,000 individual art lovers. Our artwork can be found in various hotels and restaurants, even in the Venetian Hotel and Casino. Canaletto paintings of Venice, naturally enough. So that's James. So they're arranging all this stuff. Note the date.
Yeah.
I said they celebrated the massacre of the Innocents. They're working on it on December 28th.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right, that got in there. Feast of the Holy Innocents is what they call it. This thing keeps moving around.
And this is in Eastern Orthodox?
Well, if I can read this, it says Childermas is another name for it. And it's Feast of the Holy Innocents, Christian feast in remembrance of the massacre of young children in Bethlehem by King Herod the Great in his attempt to kill the infant Jesus. The feast is observed by Western churches on December 28th and in the Eastern churches December 29th. The slain children were regarded by the early church as the first martyrs. Wow, I didn't know that. But it is certain when the day was first kept as a saint's day. It may have been commemorated with Epiphany. That's a very important day. That's the Holy Spirit. But the 5th century, it was kept as a separate festival. In Rome, it was a day of fasting and mourning. In the second chapter of the Gospel according to Matthew, we just read that. So.
Yeah.
So December 28th, and there's that. We just go back. What date is this?
28th.
The 28th.
Yeah.
There it is. So this is very occult stuff, guys. When they do stuff on certain dates like that, these are huge tells.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
They're heavily into numerology.
They are heavily into dates and numerology because that's where you get the energy together. And then, yes, Epstein bought or commissioned the reproduction of the Massacre of Innocents on December 20th, 2010, which is exactly Childermas, Feast of the Holy Innocents. And the artist is Cornelius Van Harlem. That's confusing because there's a bunch of Renaissance and classical type paintings of the Slaughter of the Innocents. So it's easy to get confused. I thought it was Rubens at first. But I was wrong. And then
and they love slaughtering unborn babies.
Yeah, they do. And there's babies missing from these files. There's like infants missing. Victims are like, where's my child? And there's stories of specifically Zorro Ranch of like women waking up in a pool of blood. They don't know what happened. There's weird cryptic writings, and maybe one I can bring up right now, which will blow your mind. But it's basically like kill everything and keep the eggs for later, you know? And it has that kind of like mob thing where like they're caught talking in tone, like they're talking in code, excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll see if I can find that.
A lot of coded language. I mean, even when you go into the symbolisms of whether it's Freemason or something else, but mostly Freemasonry, the symbolism has like 4 or 5 different meanings to confuse the people trying to decode it. And mostly the that up in the higher levels are the one that know the real meanings. So it's always some, I call it hibbity jibbity.
Can you bring up that other document? It says William on there. It's redacted for some reason. We did Yow of God, remember? If people haven't heard that, I would recommend because it ties into Epstein.
Yeah.
But this subject, this is December 29th, 2020. Fairly recent. Woman who accused Yow of God cult leader of rape mysteriously kills herself in Spanish home. Wow. That's not the story I heard. But this is some FBI thing. Why this is redacted is beyond me. This is part of the huge, massive cover-up. But blank, I'll read this to the people who aren't seeing this visually, to the audio listeners. Blank spoke of this going on at Zorro Ranch, right? This is where the Massacre of the Innocents is going to. She has said on record that Epstein offered her money to do this. Birth babies for black market use. That's what they're telling her. You can't trust anything out of these guys' mouths. They're the biggest group of freaking liars on the face of creation.
Right.
And then thank you for investigating this. So birth baby, well, what black market use is there? It's a weird use of the word use. Like, what do you black market use? Why not just selling on the black market for parents who are unable to conceive?
Right.
Crazy. But that's not actually the one that I want to show you.
Oh my gosh.
It gets dark.
Sickos, man. Sickos.
These are dark, evil people.
Deplorables.
Yeah. Detestable.
Reprobates.
Yeah. Okay, I just want you, I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if I showed you this before, but there's another one there if you could bring that up.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Oh,
you feel like, can you read that? Are you able to read that?
Maybe. Let me try. Before I read it, I put the link in the private chat so you can send it to your chat because your chat can't get it from me. Of the book.
Okay. Do you want me to just put that in the regular chat?
Yeah, I mean, I put it in there, but only my side got it, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure if your side got it. So it says here, wanted to make sure you guys know J.E. Told Wendy to get rid of all the what is that word?
Quote show.
Quote show. Okay, quote unquote show animals on the ranch. The miniature horses, pigs, turkeys, goats, Diablo, etc. Okay. Wendy said she will try to sell what she can. I don't think J.E. Much cares what happens to them, as he said to just quote unquote kill them. I think the only thing we're keeping is the chickens for the eggs and the horses, which someone can ride. What's up with this Diablo thing?
There's a contradiction in there too, because he says Jeffrey Epstein, J.E. told Wendy to get rid of all the quote show unquote animals on the ranch.
Yeah.
The miniature horses, and then she says, I think all we're keeping is the chickens for the eggs and the horses, which someone can ride, but she says to get rid of them again. And then chickens for the eggs could be, chicken is a word, a euphemism in like sex trafficking for underage kids. And the eggs could be the eggs from like they're trafficking in female eggs.
Yeah. I can see that.
And the casualness with J.E., like just kill them. Just quote kill them. What did he say?
Interesting. Yeah,
and they did have kind of like a mini zoo there, but there's not real pictures of like a lot of stuff. There's horses there, but it's very weird.
Very weird. I mean, then again, there's this Diablo thing. What's that? That's just out of nowhere. And it's capitalized too.
They had an incinerator there. They literally had, some guy made a report that the Zorro Ranch may have had an incinerator. There's like something that came into the FBI. The guy's like, hey, I've lived around here for 20 years. Something weird's going on there. Can you bring this up?
Okay.
This is the crisis intake. Look at the date, 7/19/2019. When was Jeff arrested? 7/6/2019. So Jeff gets arrested. They put out this thing like, hey, call in. This guy decides to call in. His name isn't there, but he calls in. He says, provided the following information. Blank lives in the neighborhood of the property owned by Jeffrey Epstein. The property, which is on Zorro Ranch Road, Stanley, New Mexico, has recently had a large barn constructed. This is recent, so this is somewhere around 2019, 2018. The barn is suspicious as there is a garage door that appears to be a sally port. A sally port is kind of a sophisticated gate. And you have to like open it while something else is opened.
Yeah.
Like, you can show a picture of a sally port. And there is a chimney. Blank is concerned the property could potentially have an incinerator concealed within the barn. An old 1970s mobile home was recently put right behind the barn, which Blank believes does not follow Santa Fe County regulations. There have been a lot of high-profile people seen frequenting the property. Blank has heard rumors that the property was used for recruited girls to visit with Epstein, but he has no factual evidence to support this claim. Blank heard rumors that girls from Albuquerque and the Moriarty area were recruited for Epstein. That would be in line with just recruiting wherever they could, right?
Yeah.
Blank patrolled this. This is the guy calling in. Blank, don't know his name. Why are they even redacting this? Blank patrolled this area for 15 years before he retired. So he's a cop or something. He's some kind of like government agent or something. The property was owned previously by the governor of New Mexico, but the property was sold to Epstein before the governor's passing. The property Blank is reporting is about 3 miles away from Epstein's mansion. Blank explained there's a lot of security for the properties, including cameras, sally ports, and other security measures. Blank explained that Blank the barn was constructed doesn't look like a barn that you would use for ranching. Blank wanted to report the information to the FBI because he's concerned evidence could be destroyed here. And that goes on. Even somebody said it in the chat. I have not been following the chat, but he's like, everything that was built looks like fake, and it's kind of fake.
Yeah,
Like they say that the quality of construction at Little St. James looked like a studio set.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
And it's consistent with some of this New Mexico stuff. I don't know about the whole Palm Beach, but I mean, the mansion was already built before Epstein bought it. But anyway, so this comports and ties into the deviant art and this whole crazy massacre of the innocents.
Yeah.
Purchased and commissioned on the day that this is the sacrilege thing, the day that is celebrated in the, for 2 millennia.
Yeah.
Childermas by, I think, the Catholic Church. I don't know if the Protestant Church does.
No, I don't think so.
But they don't do a lot of those feasts. The Protestant Church doesn't do
No.
a lot of those feasts. But like, if you're Catholic, I think even Orthodox, like every day there's something to celebrate, or some saint's day, or something to do. Light a candle or something. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, that was amazing. Within the first hour, I thought we were at 2 hours because it was so much information packed in, And
well, we only made it to 100 slides, bro. So we got a long way to go. I got another 100 too.
Okay. All right. Well, we could always revisit. I don't have no problem with that. And then, of course, the movie recommended. What was it called again?
Blink Twice.
Blink Twice.
Watch Blink Twice. I can do a whole nother show. It ties into this. The interesting thing about Blink Twice, which it ties into these celebrities. It ties into Lenny Kravitz, Zoe Kravitz, and all these other characters. We saw that picture of P. Diddy, Trump, and Lenny Kravitz, who I like his music.
Yeah.
But the Blink Twice, I'll just show you before we go this cool, interesting picture, because we did a lot of that stuff about the gates of hell, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's featured in this film, Blink Twice. All this stuff that we just watched is literally in Blink Twice. Like, you would not believe it. So at the introductory sequence, it takes place in a museum with the red. So like, you can't even make this stuff up. It's like from the red of Eyes Wide Shut. Like, everything's red. All the table. Can you bring up that picture? I don't want to ruin the movie for you. I think it's good.
No, I'm fine.
I mean, I'm just saying to you and your audience, like,
okay.
I give it a 4 out of 5. Like, it's not like Gone with Godfather or Gone with Wind. But see that in the background? That's that's one of the 8 castings of The Gates of Hell.
Yeah.
And then on the left is a Pieta, which is another, like, the sacrilege kind of thing. And and then you see it to the right is the Thinker.
Yes.
So we see this Rodin, and these are very crucial moments in this film where like this main character is kind of around this.
Everything's red, and the white actually means something. I can't remember what the white means. And can
you bring that picture up for me, please?
Oh, okay. And
this is the lead character. I forgot her name.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in anything else. But you see, if you remember the top of the Gates of Hell, they're showing this here in the background. So Zoe Kravitz like really emphasized this Rodin for one reason or another. I don't know. Like, I don't know if she knew something or something weird, but it is eerie. And then a key component in this whole thing, and if you watch this, look for this guy to say the words Blink Twice, because this is where they get the name for the film. Is
Mhm.
this lead doctor character who's around everywhere? But if you could bring this up, his name is it's not Ewan McGregor. It's what's this guy's name?
I
Because
forgot
of
it.
Scottish likeness. Come on, chat. I'm getting old. I can't remember these names.
Yes.
He's literally walking out to see this girl we just saw,
Yeah.
and he's walking in front of the gates of hell. So it's Kyle MacLachlan. Thank you. So Kyle MacLachlan, the character, is walking out, and he's like, "This is intentional, right?" So the perspective suggests he's coming out of the gates of hell, right?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
I think that's intentional.
Yeah, I'll watch it. If you're going to take a chance and watch The Substance,
I'll take a look. I'll try.
Okay.
Don't make any promises.
This is my explanation of it. It looked if Lady Gaga and Marina Abramovic wrote a movie together, this would be it. It's that
Really?
It's that bad.
This guy was huge. He was also in what was that? Twin Peaks and all that stuff. Blink twice. Yeah. I can't even spell. Anyway, this is a pretty good movie, guys. I think it's actually the weird thing is it came out before the Epstein files. So I think it was released in 2024 or 5.
Yeah.
But she's definitely telling us there's smiley face symbolism, there's color symbolism, there's like amnesia. I don't want to ruin the whole thing, but it's
Yeah. I mean, I'm cool. I mean, I get the audience. Yeah. Well, you know what? One more to check out. Again, I wasn't watching any horror movies, but people kept saying watch. What's it called? Weapons. That one is bananas. And the reason why it's bananas is because a lot of things in that movie are real. Total occult witchcraft, turning people into things that I won't explain right now. So
it's about mind control, right? Or like witchcraft control over people. Yeah.
It's a zombie movie that's not a zombie movie. Not a zombie movie, but it's a zombie movie. And if you watch it, you'll see what I mean. And I'm talking to everybody in the audience. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to do a breakdown on that as well. And Sinners is so anyway.
Sinners won the best picture, right?
You see, everybody the director, the main actor, Michael B. Jordan, they're both into voodoo.
Wow, well, that makes sense.
Yoruba. And that's what the movie's about. I mean, they borrowed some things from the Twilight Zone, the episode of the Twilight Zone, but the rest of it, the vampires are the Christians, and
it's inversion, all that stuff.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah,
The occult inversion. Christians are always the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, don't forget to check out. This is a playlist from my channel. Chris Taylor and William Ramsey. This is mostly every show we've done together. So you want to go check that out. And if there's some missing, there are about, I think, 2 missing shows on here that are on Rumble because YouTube nuked them from orbit. So can't show it. One of them is about the music industry, Spirit Behind the Music. And another one had to do with Hollywood. So if you want to check out more, we did a lot of stuff together. And I think you'll find a lot of great information in there. You want to tell the audience about your books and where to find you?
Yeah, 5 books on Amazon. You can check them out. I have a smaller 6th book called Aleister Crowley, A Visual Study. You can check out. It's $5, but it's actually pre-AI. So you can see actual pictures of Aleister Crowley. It turned out to be kind of ahead of the curve because you can see things that haven't been tainted by new modern technology. You can see pictures of Crowley there. I have 5 documentaries on Patreon. I'm pretty active on Patreon. I post everything there without ads. And then my podcast is in the top 5.5% in the world. So it's like the top 20,000 podcast. I have over 1,600 episodes. I curate Visigoths, The Grassy Knoll, The Beyond the Grassy Knoll, Think or Be Eaten, all those old shows that he did with people are still around. I saw Catherine Austin Fitz, like he interviewed her 20 years ago. So all these old interviews are actually important for contemporary listeners now. So check those out and check out some of my old stuff that pertains to this. Thanks for having me. It's great to be with you again, Chris. Appreciate the invite.
Sure. Love having you, man. One question. Gotta respect William's time, so we gotta go soon. Did you ever see Serpent and the Rainbow? Yes. The Believers, I'm not sure, but in my series called Zombie Apocalypse, I talk about Serpent and the Rainbow. I did it a few years back, so you want to check that out. And we also covered Serpent and the Rainbow in a show we did together about occultism in entertainment. So with that, guys, thanks for joining us. This is a really good time we had here, and don't forget to support Don't Let Them Burn. Support William Ramsey's channel and join the membership if you find value in this. We need your financial help and for you to share and like the videos. All right, now, so with that, don't forget, Christians, to spread the gospel and don't let them burn. And if you haven't come to Christ yet, what are you waiting on? Jesus died for your sins and he resurrected on the third day. That's the small version of the gospel I can give you today. So, and he is God, God in the flesh. 100% man, 100% God. Believe on him today and you shall be saved. See you guys later for the next one. If you like our videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get all our frequent updates.